first set goes, I think it could go to show how this game is going to play out. But I guess all the pieces are in place. We got a good one, Connor.
We'll see how it plays out. Amir Grant ready to get us going here today, and away we go from Columbus in this crucial MIVA matchup. Daniel Hurley with the swing on the near side, and he goes cross court to pick up the first point of this one, and it goes to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, Amir Grant just unable to handle that one there on the far side. I think it came at him a little faster than he thought. High velocity coming off the hands all the time of these Ohio State players. Watch out.
It's been a career year for Daniel Hurley. His leading his career in kills, coming in with 87 on the year, as there's a swing and a point, and the Lions will get on the board for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Ohio State just unable to corral it there at the net. Unusual for them. You see Salvatore is down there talking to Daniel Henwood Rodriguez. Normally they're able to send those back, just unable to do so right there.
That was Luke Kraft who picked up the kill, averaging about 3 kills per set, 155 now on the year. Rodriguez in the middle, dumps it over, and he'll pick up the point for the Buckeyes as Daniel Henwood Rodriguez with a little setter dunk.
Yeah, just unable to scoop that one up right there. Perfect placement for the Buckeyes, and they've got an early lead. You see they're using that center of the floor right there. They punch it in. That's where they play to their strengths, and they're going to try to do that throughout the night.
Here's Daniel Hurley with the Buckeyes up by 1 here early in a pivotal first set. Back set, swing, and Hudson couldn't dig it out there for the Buckeyes. Looks like it was Caden Whiteside, the Powell, Ohio native, to pick that one up in his homecoming here to the Columbus area.
Yeah, as you said, it is a homecoming from Olentangy Liberty High School. Redshirt freshman on that one. Hudson just unable to handle it. He was isolated there on that near side, and they just sent it too hard for him to handle.
Here's Whiteside on the serve. He's got 11 aces on the year, trying to make it 12, but it's kept off the floor by Ohio State. Wetzel there to collect. Here's the set swing on the outside. Couldn't be put down by Luthane. Now Wetzel, the lefty, going down the line. Good dig by Whiteside. He'll come back to him, and he'll bump it over.
Watch out of the net.
Yeah, Rodriguez back set. Wetzel, a little touch. Dug out there by Zach Solomon. Now a swing on the outside, and the long rally will end up in favor of the Lions as they're able to collect the point.
Yeah, Daniel Hurley just unable to get it over the net right there. You know, great job by Ohio State keeping it alive for as long as they did, but just unable to hold on to it and get it back over. Disappointing right there.
Here's Whiteside to serve once again for Lindenwood with the Lions with their first lead here this first set, trying to make it an ace, but nice run down by Rodriguez, and Wetzel able to get it over. Set up middle, swung down. That was Owen Walsh. He can terminate the point, and Hudson will just push it over. Try it again, this time outside down the line. Luthane puts it down, and he picks up his first kill. Brendan Luthane, another guy to watch out for on the outside for the Lions. He averages 3 kills per set flat coming into this one, 150 on 50 sets.
Yeah, and what you saw right there is exactly how the Lions want to play. Going from high to low, going from near side to far side, getting Ohio State running up and down the court and really wearing them out.
Mini run here for the Lions. Make that another point. As Whiteside dots the I and just keeps that one in, and he picks up his 12th ace on the season.
Yeah, dotting the I, just as you said. And looking over at the Lions bench, really, I mean, you see the body language. They're all cheering together. They are not here to mess around, and they're excited with the possibility of knocking off the Buckeyes.
So 3 straight here for Lindenwood. Whiteside to serve, and that will end the run as he overcooks it a little bit into the Ohio State bench.
Yeah, it looked like that. That got somebody right there. But a point for Ohio State nonetheless. They'll take it.
Aliel Salvatore on the serve coming up for the Buckeyes. Transfer out of Lincoln Memorial in the offseason. Here's the set, now a swing, and that one hammered back down by Brendan Luthane.
Yeah, and other than a few Lindenwood fans who made the trip over from the greater St. Louis area, this place is pretty much silent. I mean, the Buckeye faithful is kind of stunned. Lindenwood coming in here to this building and really lighting it up so far early on.
Owen Walsh on the serve, Cincinnati product. Here's Rodriguez, leaves it up Hurley, and he flies in from the 10-foot line and connects on that point.
Yeah, that was a great play by Hurley, able to park it right there in the back corner. And, you know, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster for him lately. He actually bled out through his knee a little bit against Lewis. That caused a 4-minute delay. They had to come out and wrap his knee. But, of course, as you saw right there, he is fine, and he is trying to get the Buckeyes back into this one.
Yeah, good to see Hurley back out there this year for Ohio State. Played just a handful of matches last year before a lower body injury, and there's an ace for the Buckeyes, their first.
Yeah, just a little bit of sloppiness right there on the receiving end by Luthane. He didn't really move towards the ball as much as he probably should have. Kind of just like leaned down to get it and took a weird bounce, and it's no surprise that it ricocheted out of bounds.
That was Rodriguez picking up ace number 16 on the year for him. And here he will be on the service line once again. Back set, spike, and kept off the floor by Hurley in the back row. Now another set, another try for Kraft, and he is stuffed right back at him, and it's 6-6.
Yeah, and this is where it starts to get dangerous if you're the Lions. You don't really want to give Ohio State those chances up there at the net, but the Buckeyes got it right there, and of course playing to their strengths as you would expect them to do. This game's tied up.
Ohio State averaging a little over 2 blocks per set. And now Rodriguez, another service here for the Buckeyes. His rifle, overpass over that. Don't mind if I do, says Stanislaw Hitchinski. He just taps that overpass right back over, and the Buckeyes back with the lead.
Yeah, that's as easy as it's going to get for him. 6'7" out of Warsaw, Poland. He was just able to tap it back over for the point. For Ohio State, it's crucial that they win this first set. Not just the first set, but all of them. And that sounds obvious, but in games they win, they're 27-1 in sets.
Here's the back set, Kraft down the line, and he picks that one up. That is a good point for Ohio State.
We've seen throughout this year, Ohio State, it's typically all or nothing. If they win, it's typically a sweep, but if they don't, I mean, in games where they lose a set, they're 1-6.
7-all here. Here's Kraft once again. Two-time All-IVA selection with Maryville, and he puts it into the net. And a service here will give the Buckeyes the point.
Yeah, as we touched on earlier, he is second in the MIVA, 6th nationally in aces per set, with just over half an ace per set, just unable to do anything with it right there.
Back and forth. We've gone here early. Here's Pachinski. That was the third service there on Lindenwood here early. Left up, Kraft, a little touch. Grimm got his hand on it at the net for Ohio State. Now Rodriguez, there's Grimm, this time on the swing, and he is able to get that right off the hand of Kraft that time, and Aaron Grimm picks up his first point.
Yeah, and there it is again, going towards the middle of the floor. That's one of the ways the Buckeyes can play to their strengths, and we've seen them do a great job of adjusting to it. They don't want to be on the outside against this Lindenwood team and letting these pin hitters really dictate how this game flows. And now they've got a 2-point lead because of it. There it is again, middle of the floor.
There's the back set, and Kraft able to dump that one right in front of Rodriguez for the Buckeyes off the set from Solomon.
Yeah, and you see Kraft going from low to high right there with that left hand, being able to drop it just in front of an Ohio State player. And, I mean, you could try to pick it like a first baseman, but that doesn't work in volleyball.
That one just off the hand that time of Luthane. He tried to carve one to that far side, just couldn't keep it in, 10-8 bucks.
Yeah, it was pretty close. I think it hit that tee where you see Mike and Cheyenne O'Shaughnessy court just there on the edge, unable to keep it in bounds, nearly able to clip paint.
It's Aaron Grimm now on the service for Ohio State. Hurley pushes it. Rodriguez will leave it up. Wetzel the swing. And the lefty out of Florida couldn't put it down. Now Geist leaves it up. Far side, swung on by Whiteside, and he's able to put it down and terminate the point.
Yeah, nothing the Buckeyes could do right there once it ricocheted back there. You saw Aaron Grimm sliding in there like he was on a slip and slide trying to get it on the Buckeye leaf, but at that point it was pretty much too far gone.
Whiteside no stranger to picking up kills, averaging 2.4% in his redshirt freshman season, but he did lead the state of Ohio with all intangibility in kills back in 2023.
Indeed he did.
Here's Amir Grant, and he puts it into that, tried to float it over, couldn't get it. And it's 11-9 now, Buckeyes.
Yeah, that's Grant, the native of Los Angeles, California. And, you know, his strength, he's 13th in the MIVA in blocks per set with about 7/10 of a block for every set.
Solomon leaves it up right behind, and that one hammered back down by Luthane, who certainly hasn't been shy about putting some power on his swings thus far.
Yeah, that's the Greenwood, Indiana native, the senior. Not necessarily a big guy, especially compared to some of these Ohio State players, but he can really get up there.
Had 12 kills the last time out against Fort Valley State for Lindenwood. Off to a fast start here today. Here's Rodriguez. He'll leave it up. Hurley looking for his third kill. Nice dig there by Geist. Now Luthain again. This time put some touch on it. Wetzel was ready. Now Hurley will try. Geist in the back row once again, the libero. Solomon leaves it up. Went to the middle that time, and Owen Walsh. He couldn't put it down. Another nice rally here. Rodriguez now. Haczynski, and the point belongs to the Lions, as it looks like Buckeyes came over the top that time.
Yeah, I think they did, and it was really a great job there by the Lindenwood Lions. When the Buckeyes crowd those three players up there, those big guys who can get up there, you have Hinwood, Rodriguez, Haczynski, and Salvatore on that play, really just not letting them play their own game. They sent it back there just about every time and led to a point.
There's that Solomon on the serve. And a miscommunication that time by the Buckeyes as that ball just floats right back to the ground, and 3 straight for the Lions have them back out in front.
Yeah, and I think the Buckeyes, just now, this past series, their typical game plan hasn't been working, and maybe it got a little bit in their own head right there.
Solomon on the serve once again. Haczynski was there to receive. Now Hudson. Here's Hurley. He went down the line and right off the hand of Solomon that time, and Dan Hurley off to a quick start in this one. He's got 3 early kills.
Yeah, and you saw him right there. Zach Solomon was really isolated there on that near side, and if you hit it hard enough and it deflects off of him, there's nobody there to go and play it.
So after his point, side out belongs to Hurley here. 12-all early first set. Luthain floating in from the 10-foot line, dug out by Hudson, rifled in by Wetzel, but good job by the Lions to scramble. Now Kraft puts it up, sent right back at him. Kraft's got 4 early ones, but the Buckeyes didn't want to see him get on the score sheet that time.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Drew Hudson, the libero right there, laying out to get that one. He really saved that play for Ohio State, and I really don't know what was going through the minds of the Lindenwood players, just dinking it right over there. They should have hit it further back because Ohio State is so good up near the net and in the middle of the floor, and they showed right there. And well, that's going to be a service ace. Give it right back.
Make that an error, rather.
Or service error.
Yeah, the first part right, at least. There's Caden Whiteside, 13-all first set. As that one just floated a little too long here. That's the first service error for Ohio State here today. Lindenwood's got 4. Wetzel now flying in there, and he goes down the line, and Shane Wetzel will pick up his first kill tonight.
Yeah, if you let Shane Wetzel really wind it up like that and you leave the middle of the floor that wide open, you can go ahead and phone it in. Wetzel, he's been around for a while, and he knows what he can do best, and that is one of those things.
Wetzel had 7 swings prior to that before picking up that kill, and then Salvatore's will leave it too long, and the point belongs to the Lions, and the Buckeyes' second service error in 3 points.
2 touchdowns for both sides so far. 14-14.
14-all. One more point here. We're triggered a timeout on the floor. Overpass. Grant Hudson dug it out. Wetzel pushed it, and it ended up too long, and Kraft said, I will take that. Goes down the line, and we have a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, you just saw the Buckeyes.
Iowa State, and what is his redshirt junior campaign for the Virginia Beach product. So Lindenwood here, the lead, and they've got the momentum out of the timeout, and they serve. There's Hudson camped underneath it, leaves it up. Haczynski going across the court. Couldn't catch a touch at the net that time, so a point for the Lions.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Ohio State Buckeyes set up a little more at the net. I mean, he just let it fly from over near the sidelines. He probably could have given it one more touch.
That one left a little long. That time off the hand of Walsh, I believe it was. So service error, and the Buckeyes back within 1 as Daniel Henry Rodriguez will trot back to the line.
Yeah, it should be interesting as, we're getting to that point where it's almost a sprint to get to 25. And, in a game like this, winning that first set is crucial, especially for Ohio State.
That's not going to help the cards for the Buckeyes as Rodriguez rifles that one on the net, and that will give the point to the Lions as Kraft, who has had a heck of a start. 5 kills on 8 swings so far, will take the serve. Coming off his 8th multi-kill match of the season, and that one just came off the hand a little weird. And the Buckeyes back within 1.
Yeah, that's another service error for him, and we've touched on how good he normally is. This is one of the primary offensive options for Lindenwood, and the Lions would have liked more out of him right there.
So here's Stanislaw Haczynski at the service line for Ohio State. As Luthane just taps that one back to the ground off the setup by Solomon, and Luthane picks up another kill.
Yeah, as we touched on earlier, that's the outside hitter out of the Hoosier State, the senior, and he can really get up there, showing it again right there, and it's a 2-point lead again for the Lions. Not anymore.
Now a 1-point lead. Luthane off his point, gives it right back on the service there. And so we continue to go back and forth as Aaron Grimm will check into the line here for Ohio State.
It's a Louisville native.
Redshirt sophomore. There's Solomon, sets it up, swung on the outside. Whiteside was there. It was kept off the ground for a second, but not for long as Whiteside collects the point.
Yeah, and again, you saw it right there when Lindenwood is really able to get these Ohio State players to move around. It really does not help the Buckeyes by any means. Their strengths come in being able to tee it up where they are and hit it as hard as they can. When you force them to use their legs, that's where you can beat them.
Rodriguez, Salvatores hammers it home.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game if you're the Lindenwood Lions letting Salvatores get up there. Good luck stopping that.
Get another look at it right there. The set by Rodriguez. Salvatores right to the left side of Grant that time. And the Buckeyes back within one. Here's Shane Wetzel on the serve. Into the net. Lions win the race to 20 here in set number 1.
Yeah, I want to go back to that's what he's saying to the Ohio State Buckeyes, and he's one of their key players down there for the Lions.
And came in the offseason from Maryville. Was a 2-time all-conference selection there. Rodriguez, there's Hurley. Geist pushed it over. Free ball to Hurley. Rodriguez now. Salvatores. This time he's stopped at the net.
Yeah, and I just want to say, how about Brendan Luthane back there saving that one for the Lions, and they've got 22 on the board here in this first set.
Well, Bryce, you asked how do you defend that the last time Salvatores swung. Well, that's how you do it. Return to sender.
Now this gets really interesting.
Lions 3 away from taking this opening set. Here's Solomon on the serve. His fellow setter Rodriguez leaves it up to Hurley, dug out in the back row. Now left up, Luthane from the 10-foot line. Couldn't put it down. Hudson the dig. Now Wetzel the swing. Left it a little far, but ruled a touch.
Yeah, that was very close. I think you could swipe a credit card between where that ball landed. And they looking at taking a challenge here?
I thought
this one?
For a second it looked like Joe Koscheff, 9th-year head coach for Lindenwood, was going to pull out his challenge card. Instead, he held on to it.
That was huge for the Buckeyes. I mean, how many times on that play did you see the big guys up there being able to send it back to the other side?
So Buckeyes will get the point. Overpass. Salvatores right to the vacant back row. 2 straight now for the Bucks.
Yeah, we talked about dotting the I earlier, and that's exactly what Salvatores did. That might be even harder to stop, especially if you just don't have a guy back there, and he's able to thread the needle and drop it just inside the line. Great turn for the Buckeyes, getting 2 unanswered, and they're right back in it.
Here's Darren Hurley off his serve. Solomon leaves it up. Luthane tunes it up, and he connects.
Yeah, I mean, that ball was coming in. Yeah, and for Lindenwood, it's been hard to win sets in this building. You look at the last 7 games where they played at Ohio State in this building, they average 1.3 set wins per game. Well, they're on the verge of getting part of that right here. They can get the next 2.
And they're hitting a torrid 423 as a team right now. Here's Haczynski, just able to somehow roll that over the net. Had enough topspin off the tape that time. And the Buckeyes pick up a needed point, and we'll see a serve substitution for the first time today. Here's Brady Jones for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of sighs of relief for those who are wearing black tonight when they saw Salvatores just tap that one up and let it go. But ultimately a point nonetheless. Huge for the Buckeyes out of the break.
Jones, a freshman out of Loveland here in the Buckeye State. Solomon leaves it up right in the middle and tapped right back over by Owen Walsh. And set point now for the Lions.
Yeah, as you said, it is set point. It's going to be Walsh back there to serve, Cincinnati native, Sycamore High School, 6'5", and versus Ohio State in the quarterfinals of the MIVA tournament last year, he had 7 kills. He was one of the bright spots for him, and he would love nothing more than to punch back and get this set victory right here.
Walsh fires it into the net. Buckeyes will stay off the mat for just a second. Set point number 2 coming up.
Well, they talk about the announcer jinx, and that one might be on me right there.
Daniel Henwood Rodriguez now trailing by 2 here in this first set. Solomon Grant the swing. Nice dig there by Henwood Rodriguez. Wetzel out of system, pushes it over. Now Grant able to put it down right off the hand of Rodriguez that time, and set number 1 belongs to Lindenwood.
Wow, the first haymaker here is thrown by the Lions. That was a very impressive first set by Lindenwood.
Well, to start, it'll be the Buckeyes with the serve. Brady Jones, who came on as a service sub at the end of the last set, he's staying on and will serve here for Ohio State to open up the second set, and he'll leave it a little long, and a service error there for the Buckeyes, their 5th of this match.
Yeah, Brady Jones, the freshman, obviously serving, and he has the error right there, but he's very productive there in the front row and a major contributor with that 6'5" frame. He provides a very physical presence for Ohio State.
Has seen some time here in his freshman year. Off the serve from Solomon. Wetzel will try. He gets stuffed, but it's out of bounds. So point and kill for Wetzel. As he just went right at the double block that time of Whiteside and Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh was up there along with Whiteside, as you said, and they would have loved nothing more than to stick it to Wetzel and give him a taste of their own medicine, but ultimately that chance goes by the wayside.
Wetzel off the serve, nearly went over. Instead, left up right in the middle for Walsh, and he slams it down. Ohio State is contesting with something right now. Everyone immediately turned. Kevin Birch comes off his bench, and he'll talk with the second referee over there on the far side.
Yeah, I mean, for the time being, I just want to point out Lincoln Geist returning that serve. He is so athletic there in the middle of the floor, and that reaction time came up huge right there. And should Lindenwood keep this point, he's part of the reason why, and it looks like they will.
I don't think Birch liked the explanation he got from second referee right there, Luis Ventura. First referee, Jared Millett, and the line judges, Gerardo Dominguez-Diaz and Tim Boyer here tonight. That's your officiating crew. Henwood Rodriguez will leave it up Hurley. That's how he opened up the first set. A cross-court swing, and said he's stuffed. And then the Lions try it through Luthane, but he's sent right back, and a block for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, at the start of that play, you see Daniel Hurley creeping up on the far side along the sideline, and he tried to send it down to the hardwood with velocity, unable to do that. But then you see the Ohio State Buckeyes inching back towards the middle, and they do it again.
Daniel Hurley the serve here for the Buckeyes. They've got one ace here today. Was received well by Geis. Another block. Luthane shut off again, and the Buckeye block working here early in the second set.
Yeah, that's Henwood Rodriguez with Salvatores in the area. Both of the Puerto Rican players for Ohio State teaming up to stop that one right there.
Henwood Rodriguez fired up after that one, after he picked up that block. Here's Hurley again.
Look out.
And look out in the bench. Ace for Hurley. Whiteside couldn't receive it cleanly, and everyone on that line bench was scattering, thinking someone was going to go try to dig that one out.
Well, that right there is why they give out the warm-up shirts, because all the players on the bench still in uniform, they were scattered everywhere. One of the bench players could have hit that, and I would have been able to tell at first. But it ended up in the second row.
And Hurley, after the ace, service error, point for Lindenwood. 4-3 here early on. Here's Owen Walsh. Cincinnati kid, attended Sycamore.
How about those goggles he's got on?
Does have the specs. He had 6 aces last time against Fort Valley State.
A little miscommunication in the middle right there.
Almost worked out. Luthane pushes it over for the Lions. Now set up here far side. Haczynski, as the Polish native, will swing and go down the line. And a point for Ohio State.
Yeah, kind of the same thing right there, going over towards the Lindenwood bench. Ohio State almost let that ball drop. I think it was Hudson, and it might have been Hurley right there. It looked like Hudson came over and cut him off, but ultimately it works out for Ohio State nonetheless.
Here's Eliel Salvatore, a little too long on the serve. And back and forth we continue to go. Point swings back to the Lindenwood.
Yeah, just unable to get that one to drop in time. I think had he had a little bit less on it, he maybe could have clipped the tape there, but just a little bit too far.
Luke Kraft now on the serve. Couldn't find anything. Rodriguez leaves it up. Hurley able to fly in there, and he connects.
Yeah, and Ohio State right there. Again, I'll say it one more time. Playing to their strengths, getting it set up in the middle of the floor with the big guys, and, you know, good luck. Good luck against that. Ohio State, looking at their roster this year, they've really gotten bigger, and it's played to their advantage.
Henwood Rodriguez able to fire that one in there, and it just ate up the libero that time in Geist.
Yeah, Geist, just, as you said, he got ate up by that one. He got it at a weird angle, and he was just unable to get his hands up in time to send that one back.
So out the ace, so Ohio State has a chance to build it up to a 4-point lead should they pick up another point. As Solomon leaves it up Grant in the back row, Hurley on the dig. Now Haczynski goes down the line, and the point belongs to Ohio State. They say that was touched by one of the Lions, and it looks like they will not take a challenge on.
Play out throughout this year. Again, the MIVA Offensive Player of the Week last week, and he's showing throughout the night tonight why he's one of the best players in the MIVA.
He was held quieter offensively this weekend, just 6 combined kills between the two matches. But had that big week a couple weeks ago, and he can do it defensively as well. As a point outside, Kraft couldn't connect. Buckeyes opening it up a 5-point lead now.
Yeah, it feels like we've been saying Kraft's name a lot throughout the night. He has been a key piece for this, really, you could say, upstart Lindenwood team this year. And it's been really clutch for him throughout the year. In these big games, he has shown up, just unable to keep it in bounds right there.
Here's Daniel Henwood Rodriguez, left that one offline to the right, just a tad. And the Lions back within 4.
Yeah, unfortunate right there. I mean, looked like the Lions were sort of spaced out too. He was just going for that sideline and unable to keep it in.
Brendan Luthane here, the outside hitter. He sends that one over 70 miles per hour on the radar gun. Wetzel shut off at the pass, and the block belongs to Lindenwood.
Yeah, that is huge for the Lions right there, getting those 2 points. I mean, being down 5 to this Ohio State team is not an ideal situation by any means, and they've got it back to 3.
So Luthane here trying to gather some momentum for Lindenwood in the second set. Grimm the swing, couldn't be dug out by Kraft. Buckeyes will win the race to 10.
Yeah, it was a great play there, just really just slinging it to the middle of the floor. And, you know, this Ohio State team, they're so big and strong that they're capable, if they can isolate one of the players in the middle of the floor, they just hit it as hard as they want, and they say, hey, give this a try. Doesn't always work out for the opposition.
Stanislaw Haczynski on the serve. He was aiming for the left corner and just missed an ace that time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's played too big of a role just yet with service errors, but in games like this, they are a big no-no. I mean, how big are the implications for this game going forward? You think about it, I mean, both of these programs have title aspirations this year, and how they do in the MIVA is going to play a big role in how they play out.
17 combined service errors between the two thus far. And what a block that time. That was Owen Walsh jumping up out of there, and he puts that one back down.
Yeah, well, we talked about them trying to get it earlier. They finally got it. The chance to dish Shane Wetzel a taste of his own medicine, and, well, that's exactly what they did. Back within 2 for the Lions.
Wetzel has struggled to gain some footing here in this one. He's got 3 kills, second on the team, but 2 service errors on 13 attempts, hitting .007. That's not going to help the cause. An ace for Lindenwood as Hurley couldn't connect on that one, and this line bench fired up as Grant able to pick up the ace.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that one. He just fumbled it right there. Back within 1 now for the Lions.
And went on a bit of a run. Buckeyes could use a point. Here's Grimm the swing, and he's able to stop the bleeding for now as Aaron Grimm soars in there for the points.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good run there with Amir Grant, and, you know, he's one of those guys. His presence is most heavily felt up near the net, and know, he struggled a little bit earlier in this one while serving, but good job right there.
Kraft, now the swing. He enters back. Went right over Hurley and Salvatore's at the net that time.
Yeah, and the Lions are getting in a little bit of a groove now. They were down by, I think it was 5, and look at the scoreboard. They're down by just 1 now. And they've got a guy back there in Solomon who's one of their best servers.
Also one of the best, and picking up assists. He picks up the ace. Good server. The entire Lindenwood bench is running back to the locker room after that one. 11-all.
Yeah, they all just disappeared for a minute. Whistle blow by the referee. They're happy to be here. They're having a great time in Columbus.
Fired up. Solomon on the serve again. Rodriguez pushed over. That was Wetzel who couldn't connect. Now the big swing, and Luthane able to put it down, and the Lions take the lead here in the second set.
Wow, someone get the radar gun out on that one. That was an absolute rocket. And shout out again to Lincoln Geist coming over to the near side and saving that one for the Lions.
Solomon now another serve. Feet start to be entrenched on that service line. Here's Rodriguez. Hachinsky, much needed point right there for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, that was just what the doctor ordered for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and it looked like it had just a little bit of spin, maybe just enough to get it to ricochet off Lincoln Geist to Libero, not the way he wanted it to go.
Now Wetzel, 12-all here in the second set, make it 13-12, and now off the service there.
All right, Lindenwood is halfway there to 25, and we're neck and neck. They've already come back in this set, being down several points. Ohio State, you know, they going down 2 sets here at home would be most certainly uncharted territory.
Hurley on the outside. Geist saves it, and the point plays on. Now Hachinsky, Geist again. Dug it out. Kraft this time. He puts it down, and it's all Lions here over these last few points. The Lindenwood bench takes off again. And they have been fired up here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, every last ounce of momentum for the Lindenwood Lions. Every last ounce of momentum in this game has gone to the Lindenwood Lions, and Ohio State just looks jaw-shocked right now.
Ohio State was up 10-4 at one point of the set. And it's been all Lions rather since then. That will help the Buckeyes cause. That one sent into the net. Buckeyes back within 1.
Yeah, the Buckeyes were fiending for a point right there and somehow able to keep that one up. You saw Hurley get it with a weird bounce, but they were able to get it over the net, and it's sent back onto the other side of it by Lindenwood. Huge for the Buckeyes. See if they can turn momentum. Well,
there's your answer right there.
There it is again.
15-13 now at the service there. Buckeyes now up to 11. Here's Owen Walsh now, the serve coming up for the Lions. Just clear the net. Hurley was there on the near side. Now Hachinsky trying to go down the line. He's denied. It was Luthane right there in the middle.
Conference, and you look at him tonight, 15 of them already. He had 30 in this building against Ohio State in the MIVA quarterfinals last year.
He's trailing Alex Smits Van Oyen of Loyola, Chicago, who averages about 11.1%. And Rodriguez for Ohio State right behind them at 3. Another point for the Lions, another error for Ohio State, this time on the attacking end.
Yeah, the demeanor of Ohio State has changed drastically since early on in this set, and they just look exhausted out there, and you see several of their players with their hands on their knees.
That'll help service there, that time by Lindenwood. But you're getting to the point here, if you're Ohio State, you can't afford to start trading points late in this set.
Yeah, I mean, losing one set is one thing, but honestly, going down 2 sets to none would not be optimal by any stretch of the imagination for him here.
Salvatore is off his serve. It's left up, and that one couldn't be put down on the other end. And the Buckeyes have rattled off a couple of straight, and they're back within 2.
Yeah, again, going back to my last point, Ohio State, I mean, they've already lost a set here, but typically it's all or nothing, and we've seen one set of quote-unquote nothing so far, and see if they can bounce back.
Luthane, this time a little touch and finesse. Puts it down. We've seen him hit some rockets. That time he just took a little off of that and put it down.
Yeah, and that moves Lindenwood within 7 of another set victory. Ohio State has not won this year, losing 2 sets. The longest game they've won was a 4-setter in Charlotte against Queens. Everything else in 3.
Here's Zaczynski. He was tapped back at. He'll get it again, tune it up again. This time he goes down the line, and that was dug out. Now Luthane, the swing, ended up right in the lap of Wetzel. Zaczynski, 3rd time's the charm. No, sir. Now Luthane, he's denied. And a block for the Buckeyes. Luthane couldn't believe it.
Yeah, how about the Buckeyes right there? Able to bend but not break. There was a point where the ball went back over to their side, and they really only had 3 players back there in the back 2/3 of the floor. 3 of their players were crowding the net, and they were able to send it back over, and ultimately they get the point. That is huge to be back within 2 for them.
Tyler Tharp will check in for the Buckeyes. He's on the left pin right now.
Yeah, Tharp, he got a lot of action a few weeks ago when the Buckeyes hosted would have been the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. Great game right there. He's 6'8", and you know he really blends in with this Ohio State team. If you get him set up there at the net, watch out. Hailing from the Windy City,
Chicago area, and that one put into that by Henwood Rodriguez.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, looking at Tharp, he's one of those players that really helps spread the offensive attack for Ohio State with that size, and he's another offensive option on the outside, which is where Lindenwood's strength is.
Luthane, he's had a hot couple of points. He left that one a little long. Buckeyes are back within 2 once again.
I mean, this is huge right here. I mean, you think about the difference between Ohio State tying this game up and going down 2 sets with the magnitude of this game. What we're about to watch right here might decide a lot of things throughout the rest of the season.
Here's Zaczynski. Certainly a pivotal match right here. That one put down and swung on by Kraft. He's able to connect on that one. And the Lions 5 away from taking a 2-0 lead.
Nice catch by the fan there. A young man there in the, looks like a navy blue t-shirt.
Right at the block that time. Got it over. Going to be dug out. I'll leave it out here for Amir Grant, the 6'5" middle blocker.
He's good at serving last time. See how far he can take him. I guess not far this time.
Back and forth, we continue to go. Ohio State has got this down to as little as 2 multiple times over the last few points. Just haven't been able to get over that hump here late. As Aaron Graham will look to start this rally here for Ohio State. Luthane was there in the middle of the floor. Solomon left up and right in the middle. Owen Walsh hasn't gotten a ton of swings in this one, but he's picked up 3 kills now in 6 attempts.
Yeah, this Lions team right now is just genuinely in a flow state. I mean, you saw Zach Solomon looking over at Owen Walsh saying, "Hey, bro, are you coming up?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And he finds hardwood on the other side.
Another service there. Point back to the Buckeyes. Stop me if I said this before. They're back within 3. And Tharp was going back. He'll check off the floor. Here comes Wetzel back on for Ohio State. And as mentioned, has just struggled to get a groove. Wetzel has today 3 kills, 2 attack errors, 14 attempts, .071 hitting percentage.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great time for him to get back in. Hopefully get his confidence up if you're the Buckeyes. Apparently not.
Just left it a little long. Another service there. Ohio State and Lindenwood both have been trading those back and forth. 13 out for Ohio State, 12 for Lindenwood.
I think part of the decision right there is, you know, he's 10th in the MIVA. Talk about Wetzel and ace per set, .357. And they were hoping maybe that would get his confidence back up. Didn't do so.
White side, rifled it to Hurley. Rodriguez, now Salvatores right to the back row.
Yeah, they left that back right corner wide open for Salvatores. And if you give him a lane, he's going to hit that every time.
I'll bring Hurley to the line. Lindenwood took the first set, remember, 25-22. So trying to take a 2-0 lead here and finish this one off. The guy's looking to make a late run at this one. As Solomon leaves it up, here's Luthane. Tried to hammer it. Hudson was there. Now Zaczynski the swing. Blocked.
Wow.
Hudson kept it off. And still off the floor. Wetzel with the dig this time. Here he is on the swing, tries to go back row. It goes high up into the stratosphere. Geist like a center fielder's underneath it, and Walsh keeps the point alive. Rodriguez, now Wetzel down the line, another good dig by Geist. Now outside, Kraft, Haczynski, we've got a rally going. Hurley, back row, ends it.
That was unbelievable. The Buckeyes are now within one. If they go on to win this set and win this game and potentially go far this year, point back to that right there. You know, I would love to be able to say this person did this person did that, but that set went on so long and more people kept stepping up for the Buckeyes, and we'll see the replay of it. And again, that is crucial for Ohio State to get that point.
Fair to the lines on that point as well, but that's not going to help the Buckeyes' cause as Hurley will give that point right back.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that is, talk about a momentum killer. That is huge. What a break for the Lions, now just 2 away.
Owen Walsh now to spark another point. Good read by Wetzel. He hopped right over that ball that time and pulls the Buckeyes within 1.
Yeah, showcasing the hops right there, able to get those long legs up just in time, and that was really close right there. Last thing he would have wanted is to jump over it and dodge it and then just see it go right inside the line, but it doesn't have to worry about it.
That'll be Eliel Salvatores. Nearly an overpass. It was for a second. Rodriguez, now Haczynski, the swing down the line, kept off the floor. Out of system, Luthane somehow able to pick up the point.
Wow. I mean, how in the world did Lindenwood do that? Just barely able to, you know, when they ricocheted it back towards the back line and went up in the air, they got just the right touch. I'm telling you, if that hits just about a centimeter over, that's taking a different angle, and we're probably looking at a tie game right here.
I thought that was going to end up in the Lindenwood bench and set its set point here for the Lions.
Doing all the little things right.
As Luke Kraft the serve. Rodriguez, now Haczynski looking for the touch. He got it, and the Buckeyes back within 1.
I wasn't sure about that one for a second. I mean, the Buckeyes, you talk about your light flashing before your eyes. I mean, a matter of inches between, you know, the situation they're in right now and going down 2 sets.
Buckeyes can prolong the set. Remember, it's win by 2. So a point would keep this thing going and take set point off the board for the Lions. There's Luthane trying to end it. Hudson with the pancake to dig it out. Now Solomon lays it up. Grant the hammer and ends the set.
Yeah, just as you said, the hammer.
That last set, they just couldn't get over the hump there late.
Yeah, we see Grant going back. He's going to start serving this one. And for Ohio State, the most dangerous 4-letter word in sports is hope. And punching back right here could give that to him. This game is not over by any means. Here we go.
Down 2 sets to none. Buckeyes trying to dig themselves back out. Lions trying to put it away. Salvatores will start us off here in set number 3 with a kill as he gets it right in the middle and puts it down.
Not a bad way to start at all for the Ohio State Buckeyes. You see Salvatores climbing into the rafters as he's done so many times this season.
Here's Shane Wetzel. Serves it away. Geist was there to receive. And then Kraft on the outside, able to swing. Down the near side pin, he gets blocked and out of bounds for a Lindenwood point.
That was so close to falling on the line, which would have given Ohio State another point. It's a game of inches. And, you know, you hear that saying in baseball more than anything, I would say, but it's true here.
Solomon that time left it a little long on the outside of the tape. 2-1 Buckeyes.
Well, we were talking about inches. That one was out by a few feet. No question about that one.
I'll leave it up to Daniel Hurley here. Hurley got off to a hot start in this one. Cooled off a little bit in that second set. He's got 5 kills. Hitting .417 as well. Geist in the back row able to keep that off the floor. And out of system, Walsh will just pop it over. Now Rodriguez, Salvatores again. His second swing of the set results in his second kill of this set.
Yeah, Mr. Salvatores is trying to put this Ohio State team on his back, and so far it's working here in this third set. Buckeyes with a 3-1 lead. Things going well so far because they're playing to their strengths, able to get things going in the middle of the floor.
5 kills now for Salvatores. Tied for second on the team. And now an ace for Ohio State. They take a 4-1 lead here early.
It's funny, we just made the baseball reference. You know, typically if a ball hits the pole and you're on offense over there, that's a good thing. But striking one off the foul pole won't get you a point in volleyball. And Ohio State with the 4-1 lead. They started fast last set but lost. Interesting to see how this goes.
That'll be ace for Hurley, and then leaves it long. Service error will flip the point the other way.
So here we go. See if the Lions can run with this here.
That was ace number 2 for Hurley as well. Daniel Henry-Rodriguez also has 2 for the Buckeyes. Each team 4 aces apiece. As Whiteside couldn't find it, Rodriguez. Heck of a set down to Hachinsky. Now Luthane rolls it over. Rodriguez the back set. Wetzel the swing, and he puts it down.
Yeah, great adjustments made right there by Ohio State. They looked kind of uncomfortable with the Lions controlling it from the outside, but able to get it back in and able to make the adjustments, and they find themselves back in front by 3.
Now Daniel Henry-Rodriguez steps to the service stripe. Solomon the set, Walsh the swing, and the point. Tic-tac-toe, that one went.
It's so strange in this building. I mean, the Buckeye faithful typically is going to pack out these venues, and Ohio State has been so good at this building, but you know, so many times it's just been silent with the exception of the Lindenwood sideline.
Grimm the touch, Solomon the dig. Now the set, Kraft. Buckeyes brought 3 at him, and they're able to disrupt that swing. Now Hachinsky had 2 on him, and he just rolls it right over the hands that time, and Walsh in the back couldn't get his full hand to it.
There's that Buckeye faithful. You know, part of what makes this so bizarre is you look at the last calendar year, Ohio State has lost 1 time on this Long Beach State start of this year. I mean, you go back before that, it was Loyola Chicago who beat them on February 8th, 2025 on their home floor, 3-1 to open NEVA last season.
A little over a year. As off the serve, the set, Grant, little tap, and finds the open floor.
Yeah, this feels slightly familiar to the last set. Ohio State getting a decent lead, but the Lions just staying with it, and they didn't dig themselves as big of a hole this time. This is a dangerous spot for Ohio State if this keeps going.
Remember, it was Ohio State with a big lead early in the second set, and then Lindenwood came and roared back. Rodriguez will leave it up. Wetzel the swing, overpass, and it rolls out of bounds, and there's another kill for Wetzel, who's starting to heat up a tad.
Yeah, gosh, that one went almost up into the rafters. I mean, I've seen several times in warm-ups, you know, some of these guys are almost hitting the ceiling, and we haven't had it hit yet during the game, but still lots of volleyball left to play.
Stanislaw Hachinsky just rolled that one over. Solomon, the back set. Here's Kraft on the near side. Hudson. Now Wetzel, his swing, picks up another kill. Caught some hands right there at the net, and Wetzel back to back.
Yeah, I mean, Lindenwood, they don't mind having to run all over the place with the ball, but eventually if you play with fire for too long, it's going to burn you, and there's just no way they're going to be able to track that one down back there, and they find themselves down 4. But it's interesting on offense, every time they can, they get the ball over to those pin hitters on the outside.
Stanislaw Hachinsky the serve. He floats it over, near overpass, joust, and that's a point for Lindenwood. Wasn't pretty, but it's a point regardless.
They'll take it, especially the way things have gone in this building. But, you know, they've built themselves a pretty big lead in terms of sets so far, and they're only down by 3 here in this third one, and they would love nothing more than to deliver that knockout blow to the Buckeyes in set number 3.
It'll be Luthane to line it over. Here's Wetzel on the outside. He tried to go cross court, but Solomon was there. Solomon, the setter, he pushes it over. His fellow setter, Rodriguez, dug it out. Now the set, near side, Hurley swung. He was stuffed. Grimm will try it. This time, he's able to connect for Ohio State as Aaron Grimm, his 4th kill on 5 tries.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of a different look right there by Lindenwood as they sort of took Ohio State strategy, sending 3 of their guys up there, and they ended up biting the bullet as it was sent back there, and only 1 guy in the area. Too much velocity to stop it.
Set up, and a big swing there by Luthane.
Well, it worked that time.
He came flying in from the 10-foot row that time. Shaves that deficit down to 3. Here's Amir Grant. Grant, former CIF Player of the Year at Da Vinci Design. Played 62 sets last year. Been a key contributor to this year as running back and bumping it over will be Haczynski. Solomon, the back set. Kraft, the little touch off the hand of Torres. Haczynski was there as backup, and out of system, Hurley just pushes it over. Now the swing on the outside, as that was Whiteside with the attack. Now his fellow number 6 counterpart, it's Wetzel, and he's able to connect on that one.
Yeah, that's huge for Ohio State to really halt some of this momentum that Lindenwood had, and they had to fight hard on that one. You saw Drew Hudson there. Took him a minute to get up. He went down to the floor to scoop one out, but was able to get up. You saw on the return of the serve, there was a little bit of backspin on it, but they were able to play it, and it works out.
Solomon just trying to push that one up. We'll see what the call is, though. Point Lions.
Buckeyes may want to take a look at this.
That was Whiteside who got the hand to it. It wasn't the greatest set, I don't believe, that time by Solomon, but it ended up working out. And Ohio State's going to hold on to the challenge card, I believe, get another look at it. And like you see at the very end right there, looked like it rolled off Rodriguez in his back.
Yeah, you said it. I think they got that one right.
Ohio State will hold on to that challenge. It's probably a good cause, and there's an ace there for Lindenwood. And just like that second set, Lions starting to gain momentum in the middle part.
Yeah, we could see it from our vantage point up here. That had a lot of spin on it, and it was going to be hard regardless for Hurley to play that one. Solomon, like a wizard, really. I mean, you're going to see him do it again. Watch this.
That time Hudson was camped underneath it. Now the back set, Haczynski off the top of Geist, and that one will roll out of bounds off of a Buckeye and point for the Lions, and they're back within 1.
Yeah, the Lions really picking on Hudson right there, and you saw when he was returning the serve, all he could do is just hold his arms out and hope he went forward. It did, but ultimately they get him the second time.
Right off his hands. Geist tracked it out of bounds. Lions the momentum again. Here's Rodriguez. Buckeyes certainly looking for a point here. Geist there on the dig. Solomon the set, the touch, and a point. Whiteside. Little tap over the net that time. And maybe some home cooking for the Palo, Ohio native.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw right there on the other side, the Buckeyes just not as comfortable playing on the sidelines, and a little miscommunications. You saw Henwood Rodriguez coming in to try to play it, and it's tied up. And this Lindenwood team is making a lot of noise now.
5-0 run here for the Lions, chance to make it 6. Or give them the lead, of course, with a point. We'll have to put that thought to bed for a second. Whiteside, or beg your pardon, Solomon the hammer into the net, and the Buckeyes will retake it.
That's a huge break for Ohio State because they were having their own issues trying to solve the Zach Solomon puzzle right there. Senior out of Wisconsin, Muskego, Wisconsin. I hope I'm saying that right.
So spend some time at Purdue Fort Wayne as well. There he is, lifted up for Kraft. Kraft couldn't connect. Now fellow Wetzel, lefty rather, and Wetzel trying to swing at that one, and Hurley came flying there as well, and it looked like they maybe just collided a little bit.
Yeah, they did, and normally Ohio State, they're able to get that one over to the other side at the very least, and they look frustrated over there. They really do.
Leveled up at 11 now. Caden Whiteside now here to serve for Lindenwood. Chance to give the Lions the first lead of the third set here. Salvatores was shut off of the net. Now Haczynski as Geist on the big dig. He's been flying around wearing that libero jersey for Lindenwood today. Haczynski a touch, overpass, joust, pushed up. Now Haczynski, the big rifle. Geist couldn't dig that one out, though. Buckeyes retake the lead.
Yeah, well, I'm glad for Ohio State that they finally started playing to their strengths because they passed up multiple opportunities to drop the hammer there at the net, and they end up getting a point regardless, so who am I to criticize their strategy? But they're up by 1, but they're going to need a whole lot more to stave off this Lions team.
A little bit of delay. Looks like they're just mopping up some moisture here on the floor. Players been playing hard. Looks like we're all good. Elio Salvatores
I mean, this is a huge game.
Yeah,
how big of a win would this be, not just for Lindenwood this year, but for the history of their program? I mean, it's unfathomable.
Here's Rodriguez. Off the set, it's Hurley. He puts it down. Buckeyes back up by 2.
Yeah, that is massive for the Ohio State Buckeyes to, come out of that stoppage, not letting it halt their momentum that they had for the time being. They're going to have to really dig deep to close this one out because Lindenwood is not giving them hardly any breaks, especially as of late.
There's a break. Ohio State gives them one. Service error. And we continue to go back and forth as Owen Walsh will take the serve.
Yeah, again, how about his look back there? I'm digging it with the chain and the specs he said earlier.
Respect the specs. Lions hitting 353 right now as a team as well. Ohio State 311. Both offenses really clicking. Kraft. Stuffed off at the pass. Now Wetzel. Blocked and put down.
There they go again. Off to the dressing room back there.
Everyone will jog back to the bench. Certainly
cleaning something up over there on the Ohio State side. You can't see it on screen, but you see Shane Wetzel with his shoe mopping something up with a towel.
Yeah, now they got a towel. He'll wipe it up. It's about where the spot where he took that swing at, too, as well.
Yeah.
So Owen Walsh will get another serve. We're tied up at 13.
See if they're trying to ice him, maybe. Walsh has been good all night.
Now we're good to go. Here's Walsh. Rodriguez. Grimm. Off the hand that time of a Lion. It was Solomon on the dig. Here's Wetzel cross court. A little too far. Couldn't careen it inbounds. And Lindenwood their first lead of the set.
Yeah, great job to respond to that spike attempt by Aaron Grimm. He had it teed up there in the middle of the floor, right above the block O. Couldn't punch it in.
Here we go off the serve. Grimm, a little touch. Not sure if he got all of it, but it worked out just as well.
That is, I really guess that he would have loved to send that thing over as hard as he could, but a little touch, a little dink over the net doesn't hurt from time to time, and Buckeyes, they could use anything right now, trying to fight off the Lions.
14-all, trying to prolong this and force a fourth set. Lions can sweep this if they gather some points. That will help the cause. Luke Kraft right there. He'll get ready to serve. Having another great day. 9 kills, just 3 attack errors here thus far for the Lions. A couple of digs on his total as well, and he's got a pivotal serve here in the middle part of the set. He puts it into the net. We're tied up at 15.
All right, I'll say it again. It's a sprint to the finish line, this time in the third set of the night, and Ohio State desperately needs this one. They would love nothing more than to get going and maybe even pull away in this set. All starts with Stanislaw Haczynski.
Even newcomer to the year last year. 13 kills the last time out for the Buckeyes. And that one rolls out of bounds. Point for the Buckeyes.
Well, you can't draw it up much better than that. I mean, that's perfect for the Ohio State Buckeyes right there.
That'll go down as an ace, number 5 on the night for the Buckeyes. First ace for Haczynski tonight. Each team 5 aces apiece. And also 16 service errors apiece. So the service line is, now the team has gathered the hold of it. That one outside, and there's a service error right on cue. We're tied up again.
Yeah, disappointing that they're taking Haczynski off the service line that fast, courtesy of the service error. He's one of their key offensive contributors. He averages 3.41 points per set.
Brennan Luthane on the serve. Ends up in the lap of Rodriguez, and a perfect pass up to Grimm, who doesn't make the mistake on that one. 17-16 now Buckeyes.
Yeah, there we go. The redshirt sophomore Aaron Grimm with the kill from the Ville. Louisville native, Trinity High School, 6'7". And when the Buckeyes have got those opportunities throughout the night, they haven't squandered them much.
Solomon the leave. Grant. What you can do, I can do as well. The middle blockers, the last couple of points have been showing out.
Yeah, this Lindenwood team, it really feels like we've seen them evolve throughout the night. I mean, they've played their own game, but at times we've seen them play Ohio State's game as well. And that sends Amir Grant back there to serve again. He's been one of their key contributors, really an unsung hero, hitting .625 tonight.
He's second in the whole conference in terms of hitting percentage. A little shy of 600. Wetzel will pick that one up.
You see Amir Grant running all the way over. He's got a smile on his face. And look at him, as we said, one of those unsung heroes for the Lions tonight, covering all that ground. And that's really been one of the things that separated Lindenwood from Ohio State tonight, being agile.
The set, Luthane flying in. And mano back and forth. We continue to go. Now this team's gathering the momentum here as we dig deeper and deeper into the set.
Yeah, I mean, good luck with that. That was Drew Hudson, the libero's fourth in the MIVA in digs per set, 2.12, and it's so hard to react to it that fast.
Here's Rodriguez on the near side. Hurley, the big hammer.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be that accurate with the ball on the spikes, it's really impossible for the Lions to stop. Just the unfortunate thing for the Buckeyes is they haven't had as many opportunities to do that as they've liked throughout the night, but they cash one in right there.
Now Hurley off his kill will get the service attempt here. He's now up to 7 kills on the night, hitting .333. And just rolled it over the tape. What a job by Geis, getting his fist underneath that one. Stopped back at the pass. Geis kept it off the ground again, and the rally will keep going. That probably should have been a double hit. It was.
And I don't think the offensive impact of the libero Lincoln Geis can be stated enough tonight. He has been in the thick of it throughout this evening for the Lions, and he's kept so many plays alive. And got a little stoppage right here. I think we're going to get going, but again, he's just been amazing for them.
19-all, Caden Whiteside. Right above that script, Buckeyes will serve it away and serve it out of bounds. Service error. Now the Buckeyes retake the lead.
All right, so they're within 5 now, and they've got Salvatores going back there. So, I mean, for Ohio State, good option to serve, but it'll be interesting to see how they utilize him here because he's obviously at his best when he's up by the net.
Now Eliel Salvatores, he lines that one over. Here's Solomon, the give and go. There's Luthane once again, right off the receive. He got it right back, made the most of it.
All right, so we're evened up, and look who's going back there again. Owen Walsh, Ohio native, and he was one of those guys who had a big game in the quarterfinals of the MIVA tournament last year against OSU.
He led the team last year in blocks as well. There's Wetzel to the back row. Was it in? Yes, it was.
Yeah, really, I mean, that was the obvious decision in terms of where to go with the ball, and he was able to sneak it just inside. Couldn't ask for anything more if you're Ohio State there. But they're going to need more of that. This game is not over, and here we are again. The towel, got to get that floor dry.
I mean, it's been a hard-fought game either side. Neither of these sets have been decided by more than 3 points, 25-22, 25-23. The first 2 sets in favor of the Lions. We got another close one right here.
It is crunch time. We need all our ducks in order for this one.
Here's Daniel Henwood Rodriguez just rolling it over the tape. Solomon left it up, high up in the air for Grant, and he high points that ball for a point.
Yeah, Grant, we talked about him a moment ago. He's now hitting .667 tonight. Going up there at the net again. He's been a huge presence there for the Lindenwood Lions.
21-all. Service belongs to Luke Kraft. Out of Kirkwood, Missouri. Nearly an overpass. It was out of bounds off the Buckeyes, and Lindenwood retakes the lead.
West Coast guy. I love that we're talking about him. He has been a huge part of the net front presence for the Lions tonight.
Here's Luke Kraft. Had an ace before that timeout. Won't get to this time. Here's Sachinsky back row. Buckeyes with the point.
Again, hitting it back there in that corner. It's 22-all. The Lindenwood Lions are 3 points away from getting what would be a sweep to the Buckeyes. They haven't been swept at home since 2022. It's been 4 years, the last team to win 3 sets in a row against them here was Penn State.
Luthane on the outside. Nice dig by Hachinski. Leave it up. Wetzel, back row.
That was close.
No, sir. Too far.
I wonder how far it really was. Is Ohio State going to be inclined to take a look at this? Seeing Kevin Birch.
Didn't even look back. They'll just let this play on. Really the question whether it was rather, not how far it went, whether it was touched to the net, and I don't think it was. Because it was pretty far off the floor. Here's Grimm. And match point now for Lindenwood, and Ohio State will have to take their second timeout. Spin in the air, and Brendan Luthane will stand on the service line here with the Lion trying to put this baby away. Rifled it over. This could do it. Couldn't be run down. Put a bow on this one. Lindenwood sweeps Ohio State on their home floor, and it's the Buckeyes' first loss at home in straight sets since, like you mentioned, 2022, and they did it in style.
Yeah, look what it means to this Lindenwood team. This is one of the biggest wins in history of their program, coming on the road to a place where they had never won before, and they have one more road game after this, but they're going to be able to go back to Missouri with their heads held high. They've climbed the mountain